Good morning, fellow Ghanaians. Right now, Parliament is wrestling with what may be the most consequential agreement our nation has encountered in decades, the revised lithium deal presented by the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. And behind all the glossy public relations and political posturing lies a simple truth that should terrify every thinking Ghanaian. That this single deal could either reshape our economic destiny for the better or lock us once again into a cycle of dependence, extraction and poverty that we have lived through since independence and pretended for far too long that we are escaping. Fellow Ghanaians, we have to be plain and speak without fear or deference. Ghana is sitting on lithium deposits whose potential value is estimated in hundreds of billions of dollars. Some calculations place their Woya deposit and all of that at roughly $296 billion over its lifespan, from extraction to production, an amount that dwarfs anything we have ever negotiated in our history, an amount that could change the course of our country and anchor a very transformation that our country truly needs. It would also help us to avoid another humiliating trip to the IMF. Fellow Ghanaians, as we know, lithium is no longer an obscure mineral. It is the beating heart of the global energy transition, the foundation of electric vehicles, renewable energy storage, and next-generation technologies. A few decades ago, it meant nothing. Today, it is strategic, it is power, and it is leverage. And we will be fools, complete fools, to treat it like we've treated gold, bauxite, and diamonds. This is why so many of us insist that the old system of royalties is no longer fit for purpose. Royalties are a relic of colonial economics. Pay the native landlord something small to keep him quiet, while the real value is shipped abroad. It is paternalistic, outdated, and grossly insufficient for modern Ghana. The idea that we will accept a capped 5% royalty on a mineral that could completely reshape our future is not just offensive, it is dangerous. And the proposal to codify this low royalty into law is even worse, because it means we are willing to blindly bind ourselves into poverty and call it economic partnership. The state must own this resource through a strong Ghana Lithium Corporation, just as other resource-rich countries have done with oil, copper, and gas. The state must hold the equity, hold the license, decide the direction, and then contract out to operators who will bring their expertise, but not to dominate. Ghana should not merely collect fees. Ghana should own the wealth. If we lack capital, we can use the lithium itself as collateral to borrow at favorable rates. That is what the companies that come in to do business with us, that is what they do. This is not theoretical. This is how countries with vision and courage behave. Commodities prices fluctuate. Yes, lithium has dipped recently, but gold dips and then rises. Oil collapses and then surges. And the long arc of commodity economics has always favored strategic minerals. Only short-sighted individuals and leaders use temporary price dips as an excuse to surrender permanent control. This is why we should insist on progressive royalties. We could do that. Royalties that rise when prices rises. Royalties that secure windfall profits for the Ghanaian people. Under the current arrangement, the moment the market booms, every cedi of that boom will go to the foreign entities, or we clap and call it investor confidence. That must never happen again. We have gone to the IMF 17 times because we have failed to leverage our own wealth. We are not a poor country. We are a mismanaged one, a nation whose natural blessings are consistently traded away for budget support, political convenience, or short-term praise. Fellow Ghanaians, that must end. The people agitating are not wrong to demand fairness, but they must also understand that the real fight is not about rejecting mining. It is about rejecting the colonial structure of ownership. The fight is not about whether Ghana works with foreign partners. It's about ensuring this country is a landlord or the laborer. The advocacy is for a Ghana Lithium Company, a publicly owned corporation that Ghanaian can even buy into, that communities can benefit from, that anchors sovereign fund, that mimics what Norway did with its oil. Norway transformed from a modest fishing economy to one of the richest societies on earth because it refused to give away its resources for crumbs. Meanwhile, Ghana, with gold, bauxite, diamonds, manganese, and oil, remains trapped in a cycle of extraction without transformation. And this is where leadership matters. The current arrangement feels less like partnership and more like a state capitalizing a foreign company. We have seen this story before, and it does not end very well for us. If we repeat those deals today in 2025, in the era of global green transition, then the fault is squarely ours. This is why the president himself, John Dramani Mahama, speak on this matter openly, boldly, and unequivocally. This is too big, too consequential, and too historic to be left to ministerial statements in bureaucratic language. Ghanaian citizens need clarity from the highest office. We do not need another agreement that sells our resources cheaply to foreigners while our people labor in perpetual poverty. We do not need another deal celebrated today but regretted for the next 50 years. The president must reassure the country that we are not surrendering sovereignty for convenience and that his government will not preside over the 21st century version of the bad gold and bauxite arrangements that have been haunting our country for decades. Fellow Ghanaians, this lithium deal is not just another policy document. It is a test of our maturity. It is a test of whether we have learned anything from the past. It is a test of whether we see ourselves as owners and custodians of our resources or whether we are just warehouse for foreign corporations. If we fail this test, our children will pay for it. But if we get it right, our children will thank us for generations. So we must choose wisely. The president has said that our resources will be mined and controlled and owned by Ghanaians. So must it be with our lithium. Do not surrender your lithium. Negotiate a good deal. And if you can't, let us own it and let us bring foreign expertise if we need to, because some of them we can get it locally. And let us do this and enrich our country and build back better. Good morning, fellow Ghanaians.